we found two things. One is we found obviously very significantly high grade zinc of 20% over 58 meters, which is a tremendous width. And we're just continuing to see tremendous yields coming out of this project that are totally unexpected.
Hello and welcome to the Assay TV, where today we're joined by Mark Brennan, the Executive Chairman and Founder of Ascendant Resources. Ascendant has been focused on advancing the Lagoa Salgada VMS project, located on the prolific Iberian Belt in Portugal. Hi Mark, welcome. It's good to have you back.
Hi Katie, thank you very much for having me.
So we've seen it's been a busy couple of weeks for Ascendant. You've announced a 5,000 meter drill campaign. You've raised $15 million in capital, and you've had some new drill results. So
it's been an exciting few days for us. Thank you.
Yeah. Just to set the scene, can you remind us of the resources you've already delineated from Lagoa Salgada, just as a reminder? I think that was announced in June this year.
We did. We basically currently have about 28 million tons of resource, and we're just embarking now on a feasibility study. And I guess as part of that, we're very excited with continuing to drill, continuing to raise capital to get us up and going. Okay. And now we're funded to a production decision.
Okay, excellent. And we can see that you've just put out some results from 3 drill holes from the Venda Nova North Zone. What were these holes looking to test for, and what did you find exactly?
Well, the interesting thing is these holes were not meant to be exploratory. They were really meant to be variability holes, which basically would be used for our metallurgical mine sequencing and determining the metallurgical quantities and quantum and how they vary throughout the deposit. But what was very interesting is we found two things. One is we found obviously very significantly high grade zinc of 20% over 58 meters, which is a tremendous width. And we're just continuing to see tremendous yields coming out of this project that are totally unexpected. And of course, what was also very, very gratifying was to see the very high copper results. And what we're seeing now is we're starting to see number of copper corridors throughout the ore bodies. And so this deposit has never really been perceived as a copper project, but it's certainly moving in that direction. So that was tremendously exciting.
Excellent. So will these results feed into the feasibility study that's expected next year?
Yes, we're planning to complete the feasibility study in March, and everything is on track for that, which is very exciting because that means the next step will be production, and that'll be in the first quarter of 24. So everything seems to be going very well. Our objective is to either equal or outperform the preliminary economic assessment that we issued, which is not usual. Usually you expect to see a little bit of a decline, but we're seeing really good results, as you saw, and that's leading us to be optimistic for better results.
Amazing. So let's just circle back to the 5,000 meter drill campaign that we previously mentioned. What are you actually targeting with this campaign?
Well, what we've done over the course of the last 2 years, 3 years, is we really haven't stepped out of the current boundaries in terms of the north and the south zone at Venda Nova. We focused very much on that, expanding the tonnage, now infill drilling to make sure that we tighten up the drilling to make sure we can get a much better perspective of the resource. And this is going to be the first time that we've ever drilled parallel deposits or satellite deposits that are outside of the immediate boundary. And so the exciting thing about this is on the Iberian Pyrite Belt, what you have is most of the big players have 4 or 5 different deposits. Our current deposit is about 1.7 kilometers in length, which is a good strike. And what we're seeing is that we're hopeful that this is going to have the potential to be equal to the North Zone in our current Venda Nova area that we have such high grade and such high value. So it could really throw a new exciting discovery aspect to the project, to the company, as opposed to being just a development story.
Excellent. So have you been using geophysics to identify any of these targets? Have you had much?
Yeah, we have. You've been doing your homework, I can tell. The geophysics on the Iberian Pyrite Belt has really led to the discoveries, and it led to the very high yields with respect to drilling. What we find on the Iberian Pyrite Belt is we've drilled to date on an exploration side about 40,000 meters, and we've derived that 28 million tons, which is a really high ratio of return on every meter drilled, about 400 meters per hole drilled. So that's really fantastic, and so geophysics is really leading the way, and we see an exact replica at this target D that looks very, very similar to the North Zone.
Excellent. So what are your projected timelines for your drill campaign, and when can we expect some results?
Well, what have we done for you lately? Is that the thing? What we're looking at is that we're looking at basically having starting the drill campaign mid-December, and basically we should have new results coming out sometime probably in February kind of time frame.
Okay, wonderful.
So just after the Christmas holidays.
So of course we have to go back to the capital raise of $15 million. Can you just give us some details for that? Who's involved and what do you plan on spending it on?
That was really important. Obviously, it was really nice to get the money into the company's coffers. But on top of that, what also happened is that it enabled us to get verification and validation from what I consider to be a very, very strong third-party player. We were working and we've worked very, very comfortably and very easily with Sprott Streaming and Royalty. They're a really strong group, a really experienced group. They did probably more due diligence than I would have imagined, and they've turned this deposit upside down and inside out. They've looked at the processing, they've looked at the marketing, so they've looked at all aspects of the project. And I hope, if nothing more, investors will see that we've got a very strong project and somewhat validated by a strong third party.
Absolutely. And just as a final point, what news flow can we expect to see in the coming months?
Well, we have a lot. March for our feasibility study, which is a very, very significant milestone, is just around the corner. And so in the immediate term, probably before Christmas, we'll see some more very, very strong drill results. Post-Christmas, we should see more drill results, as well as a resource report because of our new resource for the feasibility study, which should be an improvement on the previous resources that we have. We should see some other elements, the metallurgical testing, which is very significant for all deposits on the Iberian Pyrite Belt. So while sounding rather mundane, these are actually quite significant milestones, which we hope to really ring a bell with. So it's very positive for us.
Okay, well, excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to catching up with you again soon when you have some more results.
Thank you, Katie. It's my pleasure. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.